I don't know what 2024 has in store for me other than success and miracles and places that I can never imagine. I wouldn't imagine. So I believe that my highest expectations will be fulfilled this year. I've been praying about it. I believe it, and I have faith that it's going to happen.
Louisiana, right up in the backwoods. Taught me everything I know. Always in the hand with the jack and coat. Money falling out the duffel bag. Swear while we're crossing Carolinas. Jelly, gunpowder, and lead is the only thing we'll leave behind us. He said I come with a wanted label. Got some tape with his name on it. Left the boots tattoos like the devil walked up on the table. Cigarette out collecting halos.
From Alaska to Alabama to Cali to Nashville, like, you have been on a journey, you know.
Yeah.
And I know that you credit music with saving your life and blessing. I'm so happy that, you were able to make it, and now you are who you are.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful thing. But
Thank you.
because no problem, because you credit music, and you say you listen to a variety of songs and genres. What drew you to country music?
I feel like honestly it chose me. Like I realized at one point that the majority of the songs I was creating were country songs, and I didn't really question that specifically. I wasn't sure how people would receive me, but I kind of just go where the art takes me. Like that's what I love about different genres and storytelling. And the thing is, like, some of my songs are traditionally country, but my goal was to create things really that's my own sound and my own lane. So I do have traditional country songs, but I also have songs that have influences of trap and pop and rock. So for me, it was really more about like what the song wanted as opposed to me being like, oh, I have to do country music, if that makes sense.
No, I get that, especially because, like I said, like Pretty Little Devils, like when I first heard it, like, yes, it is clearly like it's a country song, but like I'm hearing and seeing elements. I'm like, no, this gives me like a little track, exactly. I saw the vision.
Yeah.
And then the Megan Thee Stallion line, I'm like, okay, no, like I think this is a prime example of how you can kind of merge different music without making it sound forced, because it is so different than what I think the traditional root or traditional sounding country music is.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the other thing. Like, I love country music. I love so many different genres of music. And I was like, well, I don't have to pick. Like, I want to live in a space where I can put those genres together and create my own sound. So you hear country, but you hear trap and you hear rock and you hear all these different influences merged together to make one sound that's mine. And I call it kind of like either country plus, because it's country plus hip hop plus pop plus rock, or like outlaw country because it's a new form, or it's my kind of country.
The rate at which you're doing it, it's very unique, and I think that
Thank you.
from my perspective, like I think that it's working.
Yeah, me too. And it's interesting because I got some pushback. But I knew I would, because some of the songs, like I said, are traditionally country because I love traditional country music. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to do something that's new and innovative and authentic, and that speaks to people who don't even listen to country, but say they only listen to Beyonce or Rihanna or Drake or Megan Thee Stallion. I want to reach people who listen to that kind of music and who don't listen to country at all, but will feel compelled to listen to mine because I have those different influences in my music. And so that was kind of the overall goal, and not just to honestly be a country artist, but to be a global superstar that happens to create some country music. I feel like it was a lot easier to accept me in country music when I was doing things that were kind of tone line, but still expected. So having songs like Stomping Grounds and Raised Right, Another Round, those songs are very much like fit within the country categories and the country lane. But once I got outside of that, like Pretty Little Devils, those visuals, what I'm talking about, mentioning Megan Thee Stallion, if you're somebody that's in country music that only wants to hear country music and only wants to do things a traditional way, it's just like, what is this? This isn't real country music. This isn't this is like a, I don't know, like a inauthentic, or you're trying to use country as a stepping stone, which I'm not. I genuinely love country music, but I know that I'm more than just what people want me to be. Like I'm more than what they want to fit in a box.
When you heard that Beyonce was dropping a country single or country album,
Mhm,
being a black woman in the country, like, how
mhm.
did you take that?
I mean, the thing is, I feel like people don't realize that. I mean, she's already released country music. That's what Daddy Lessons is in 2016. So to me, it isn't really surprising. I think it's great, and I love her. She's one of my biggest inspirations. And I think it's awesome, especially because a lot of people don't know that we're here, and I feel like she opened some gates, so people are seeing us now. And the visibility that we might not have had before we are now getting because she's doing country music. And I feel like, some people are like, oh, Beyonce's getting into country, but I mean, she's been doing country. And if you've been watching her visuals, if you're a fan of her, you'll see that she's been doing things that are country leaning. She is from Texas, so I think she's great, and I love the art that she creates.
So, like early when I was like, like yes, I like country music growing up, and then I kind
Hmm.
of dipped away for a bit. Part
Hmm.
of the reason that I dipped away was because I kept seeing, like the ties to, and I don't want to put this on you, so I'm just gonna leave with this. Like it was the
Hmm.
ties to, the Confederacy and all the stuff that
Hmm.
comes around with that, phrases, notions, words. Um,
Right.
so like it was kind of like, oh, I didn't necessarily feel like I was welcome. So, I kind of just stepped
Hmm.
back. So it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see that you guys are more in the forefront now, but
Hmm.
being in those spaces, right? Being a black
Hmm.
woman in those spaces, and you have to deal with, I was young looking in. I'm like, okay, that's fine, that's not for
Yeah.
me. But for you to actually be in those spaces and you seeing those things,
Mhm.
hearing those things, what does that, how does that impact you?
Well, I'm gonna say, thankfully, like, people have completely different stories than I do. So if you talk to Brittany or you talk to Mickey, they'll have a different, history in country music and a different experiences. For me, I would say that thankfully from the beginning, people for the most part have been very welcoming to me. I didn't have to experience a lot of like prejudice and racism like Mickey has and Brittany. Well, I don't want to speak for them, but like because I already had kind of a team building around me. They were able to keep me in, like they were able to only put me in conversations where things were positive and where people were supportive of me. So because I had a solid team when I started being in the space, I was able to be in rooms where people were inviting and were encouraging and were wanting to uplift me, and champions of me. But that's because I had a team kind of right when I was getting into country music. So thankfully, I didn't have to have those experiences.
No, that is, and that's part of the goal, right? Even from,
Hmm.
and I'm so like had people prior to us that civil rights movement, all this stuff, they fought for it to
Hmm.
try to eradicate it, but realistically, still here. But you keep fighting to try and break down barriers and try to break down barriers,
Right.
and so that way the next person doesn't have to deal with what
Exactly.
you had to deal with.
Right. Thankfully, I'm surrounded by women who are what's the word I want to say? Like, I'm so grateful for Mickey. I'm so grateful for Brittany Spencer. Like, we've been friends since, like, first of all, Mickey posted me without even knowing me, and after she did, we became great friends. And Brittany Spencer, we did an interview together. I think it was either in 2020 or 2021, and from that day, we became friends. So thankfully, we had a support system. There wasn't anything that made us like feel jealous of each other, or there wasn't anything where we felt like there can only be one like black woman in country. Like that's not who we are. That's not our narrative. Our goal is always to empower each other and to um push each other into different spaces. Like, I think it was the ACM awards. I didn't get I didn't get approval if I'm not, I was only able to go to the red carpet for my first ACMs because Brittany brought me. Like, that's how we are. Like, we always try and give each other opportunities. Like, if one of us isn't in that space, we'll bring the other. And so I'm thankful to have people like that. Or when I got to Nashville, I couldn't find any hairstylists or makeup artists or photographers that knew how to work with my skin. And Mickey was like, "Oh, I have a list. Let me send this to you." So it's been like that from the beginning.
When she performed Black Like Me at the awards,
Hmm.
that how was that moment, for you to be watching? Did that
I
kind
love.
of
Sorry, my bad. I was so proud because I love her. Because, at that point, it was more than just like Mickey Guy and like that's my friend doing a song that she's created. She's on the Grammy. She's having this moment that she's been dreaming about forever. And I just loved being able to witness that and being able to support her and just let her know that she is loved and that we're proud of her. So I was just ecstatic for her dreams to be coming true that day. And I was incredibly proud of her.
let's get in to Bad Girl Bible Part 1.
Hmm.
So, how do you feel now, like your debut full-length album? How do
Hmm.
you feel knowing the work that you've put into this to seeing seeing everything coming to fruition and seeing where you are now?
Oh man, I'm so thankful. I spent so many nights working on this project, working on all the visuals, like everything you see. I would say other than probably one video, like the country club video wasn't I probably had like maybe half of those ideas, but every other visual that you see that I've put out has been just me working on it, me and my mom typically because she helped me come up with like a lot of the content for Pretty Little Devils. But all the art you see, all the outfits, like everything was things that I specifically picked. All the cast members, and definitely all the songs, the songwriting, co-producing it. It was a lot, but I'm so grateful because it was exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted to tell a specific story, have those specific visuals, and I feel like I accomplished that goal. And so I'm just grateful that I'm able to do what I love and finally put out a project where I feel like people can understand me um a lot more than they probably did before with just some of the singles coming out.
The title track, no, that one, I don't know, it just do something to me. I
You
don't know.
like
I
that
feel like that was
one?
a good ender. I feel like that was the good album ender. Like, I don't know what it just do something to me. It makes me happy. Like, I don't
Yay!
know. Like, it's something about it just like gets me.
Mhm.
That and Louisiana. Like, it just
Yeah,
like
pulls
it
you
to
in.
the pitch.
That makes me happy, and I was also so nervous about the title because I'm like, I don't want people to think that I'm like going against God or any of like that narrative because I love God so much and literally I thank Him in everything that I do because I wouldn't have anything or talent or I wouldn't be able to do anything without Him. So I was so nervous because on one hand I'm like, oh, this is a badass title and it's so original and I've never heard anything like this. But I'm like, oh, I don't want people to think of me a certain way, and I was like. I just got to do it. I just got to do it. And if they know me, they see videos of me talking, they know my personality and know that I'm not about like that other side of things. So yeah,
Girl, you was a black woman with red hair and country music thing. They was gonna talk about you regardless. So you might as well do what you want to do and be happy with it.
that's one of the other conclusions I came to. I was just like, well, everything else I do is so out of the box anyways, and it's all authentic. So I might as well just do this idea because that's what I like. So I'm gonna do it. And I have some really cool shows coming up and being in spaces that I haven't been in before, which I'm really excited about. And we're kind of just building on what I've had previously. But I feel like I'm surrounded by the right team for us to do it bigger and better than all the years prior to this one. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know what 2024 has in store for me other than success and miracles and places that I can never imagine. I wouldn't imagine. So I believe that my highest expectations will be fulfilled this year. I've been praying about it. I believe it, and I have faith that it's going to happen. The last thing I would say is if you are listening to me and Beyonce and some other really great country songs that are on the rise, or Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer, Mickey Guyton's already been out here. She's not a new on the rise artist, but she's phenomenal. You got Willie Jones, Tony Evans Jr., Chapel Hart. Those are the artists I can think of off the top of my head that like if you're looking for a new artist, specifically new black artists in country music, those are people I would go and listen to.